Now the next phylum is Platyhelminthes. As the name suggests, they are commonly called as flatworms. They are commonly called as flatworms. Body is literally flat. Literally flat. Example is tapeworm, planaria, liver fluke. All these are example for Platyhelminthes. Since they are very flat, it's very clear that they don't have coelom. They don't have body cavity because they are very flat. As a result, they are called as acoelomate. And these Platyhelminthes, they have special type of cells called as flame cells. Flame cells as their excretory organ. They are excretory in function, flame cells. Now, one more very important property of Platyhelminthes, that too in case of planaria. That too in case of planaria is power of regeneration. Planaria will be somewhat like this. So, the property is called as power of regeneration. They have very high power of regeneration. What is this power of regeneration? If you cut this planaria into several pieces, if you cut it into several pieces, each piece will develop into one new planaria. That's why we say that they have high power of regeneration. Similarly, the next phylum is Aschelminthes. The next phylum is Aschelminthes. And because of their round cylindrical structure, they are commonly called as roundworm. Roundworm, and the best example is Ascaris. Best example is Ascaris. Ascaris, which commonly occurs in our intestine, in our digestive system, and cause several problems like stomach ache, intestinal blockage, etc. These Ascaris are common among small kids. They enter into our body in the form of small eggs. Through contaminated food and water, they enter into our body. Why they are common among small kids? Because small kids generally they play with soil and all that, and they are present in the soil, and through their mouth it enters into their stomach or intestine, and there the egg hatch out into what you call Ascaris. And that is one of the best example for Aschelminthes. Again, this Ascaris, we can clearly distinguish between male and female. Male is smaller and female is longer. Second difference, male at the end has like this curving, which is not present in female. And moreover, very important property of Aschelminthes is they are pseudocoelomates. We know now what is pseudocoelomate. They are pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelomate means they have false coelom. Coelom is in the form of pouches not lined by mesoderm. So that is all about Aschelminthes. The next phylum is Annelida. Next phylum is Annelida. So this Annelida is because of the word annulations. Annulations, or we use the word metamerism. We use the word metamerism, that is segmented body, segmentation. Best example is earthworm. In case of earthworm, we have seen that body is segmented. Earthworm is best example for Annelida. Earthworm is best example for Annelida. It is called as friend of farmer because in the field, they just live in the burrows. Due to their movement, soil will become loose. Air can easily penetrate into the soil, oxygen can easily penetrate into the soil, water can easily percolate in the soil. Moreover, when they engulf soil and they leave that soil is very rich. It is considered as a manure. It's very rich with some of the nutrients, very important for the plant. So they are called as friend of farmer. But all the annelids are not good. Some of them just act like parasite. As you know, leech which occurs in moist area, even in water, cattle leech we call, and they suck blood from our body. Leech, again, leech belong to annelida. So like this, in annelida we have both the groups. Some are helpful and some are harmful, and the best one is earthworm and leech. These two examples we can keep in mind. Moreover, annelida, that to earthworm, if you take, earthworm is known for closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system means red blood flows in blood vessel, as in our case. So that is closed circulatory system. And one more interesting feature in earthworm and leech is they are bisexual. See, this is very important. They are bisexual. Bisexual means in them there is nothing separate species called as male and female. So each earthworm can produce male gamete as well as female gamete. So they are called as bisexual. You take example of human being, or you take example of ascaris. I told you that ascaris, male and female are separate. Human being, male and female are separate. Cockroach, male and female are separate. Parrot, male and female are separate. When male and female are separate animals, separate organism, we call them as unisexual, whereas this is bisexual. Next, after annelida, we can move on to arthropoda. Next phylum is arthropoda. As the name tells, arthropoda, they are the organisms with jointed legs. Jointed legs. You take any example, prawn, which lives in aquatic water, prawn, crab, spider, cockroach, butterfly, honeybee, silkworm, and whatnot. And one more thing, very important, wherever you go you will find arthropoda. Arthropoda is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom. They are the largest phylum. Largest phylum in animal kingdom. Arthropoda is the largest phylum in animal kingdom. Largest phylum means what? Maximum number of them are present. You go anywhere, they live inside the soil, on the soil, inside the water, on the water, in the air, on the tree, even in our hair, we call lice. All those are example for arthropods. And arthropods, they show some of the peculiar character. One is that they don't have closed circulatory system as we observed in case of earthworm. They have open circulatory system. We can see it very clearly in cockroach. Open circulatory system means blood will not flow in closed blood vessel. Blood flow in a bag-like structure, and that to white blood or colorless blood, because no hemoglobin pigment. Colorless blood is present. One thing. Then many of them, they show what you call that indirect development. As in case of butterfly, the young one of butterfly is called as caterpillar. They look like worm. Later they develop into butterfly, adult one. And this is called as metamorphosis. And such type of development is called as indirect development. This is the larval stage. If the larval stage is present, then we call it as indirect development.